Real Housewives of Atlanta season 14, and I know you guys are saying, what? She's reviewing Real Housewives of Atlanta? Don't get too excited because I don't even know why I'm here. Well, to be honest with you, what had happened was my husband started fussing at me, telling me that all my shows made the DVR full and I need to go in and eliminate and delete some old shows because I had Married at First Sight on there. I had everything on there. And I really haven't watched Housewives of Atlanta for fully the whole season for a couple of years. Last year, I think I watched maybe a couple of episodes. Year before that, I really tuned out. So anyway, the story goes, I was going in to delete all the episodes of Real Housewives of Atlanta for this season. And I decided, you know what, let me just watch episode 1 and let me see if anything has changed. And you know what, y'all, I was pleasantly surprised. I ended up liking episode 1. So I just kept watching and watching and watching. And next thing you know, I had caught up. Go figure. Now let me get to Sheree, because that's really what made me make this video. Sheree is too old to fall for this prison scam. Where are all the ladies? How old is Sheree? Is she over? She definitely over 40. So where are all the women over 40? Doesn't everybody know about this dating a man in prison scam? I mean, it's older than the 80s or something like this. This has got to rank up there in terms of the scams, up there with the Nigerian scams. Now we got the Bitcoin scams. Back in the 80s, we had the speaker scam. You know, when you're in a parking lot and somebody says, I got these speakers for you. And then like, oh, you can get these speakers for cheap. And then next thing you know, you walking away and you driving away with bricks in a box and you thought it was some speakers. That was a big scam in the 80s. This prison scam that Sheree got taken for with this man, Tyrone, is older than the 80s. I mean, it's older than Erykah Badu's song about you better call Tyrone. It's old. And she's too old to get taken by this. Let me tell you, young people, there's two things that need to take place for you to get taken by a scam. The first thing is, it's got to sound too good to be true. That's one element of a scam. If it sounds too good to be true, it ain't true. That's the first part of the scam. The second part that's needed to even get you called in a scam is you got to believe that there's a sense of urgency. Like you got to act. Otherwise, if you don't act now, you might miss out on the what's too good to be true. That's what this prison man Tyrone did to Sheree. One is, he's in prison. Their whole relationship is over the phone. So over the phone, you can be anybody you want to. Anybody. You can be who anyone you want to. You can promise anything you want to be. I mean, back in the day, they had the 9-100 phone calls the men used to call. And guess what? Them women could be anything they wanted to be on the 1-900 number. But them women didn't have to be none of that. All they had to do was talk the talk. They never had to walk the walk. But that's what these prison scams were about. These prison men, what they do is they talk to these women. And you know what? These women open up their heart and tell them all about what they're looking for and what type of man they want. And you know what the heartache they've been through their whole life. And you know what? That's the open door for the prison man to become everything you wish you had in a man. That's the too good to be true. They take your pain, they take your stories, and then they become chameleons and they become everything you want to be. That's why I tell women on dates, don't be telling men too much of what you're looking for, because a lot of men take your stories and then they start to say that's who they are, and then you start to believe it. Don't listen to your ears, use your eyes. And when you're in prison, you can't use your eyes because you're blindfolded because he's in prison. And that's what happened to Sheree. She used her ears, but she couldn't use her eyes. And now that this man is out and she's starting to be able to use her eyes, she's starting to realize the eyes and the ears don't line up. A prison scam. And the sense of emergency was, I don't know why Sheree thought she had to jump on this man so soon before he was out of prison. He ain't gonna be no hot commodity coming out of prison, Sheree. When he gets out, it ain't gonna be like a line of women lining up for him and you better get in first in line before he gets out here and other women snap him up. That's the other part of the scam. They make you believe that you better hop on this now or the deal's gonna be gone. That man will get out of prison and there ain't gonna be a line of women for him. You could have easily waited for that man to get out of prison and figure out is he gonna be able to walk the walk or is this just talk? You should have sat back and waited. And all this stuff about, well, I didn't have sex with him or I wasn't going to have sex because I wanted to wait. That's not enough, honey. Protecting your body, that's good. But what you really need to protect is your soul and your mind and your heart. That's the real danger. So Sheree's just too old for this. I mean, women at Sheree's age, my age, we should be out here schooling these young girls. We shouldn't be still falling for the prison scam. She's way too old for this. And now she's talking about she's too invested. She don't know if she want to give up. Girl, you better cut your losses and run. You better sell that stock even though it's down. You better sell that car even though it depreciated. You better do anything you got to do to get out from under this, because you keep thinking you can recoup your investment, Sheree. You ain't going to recoup nothing. You just going to keep paying more and more and more and more. I know she embarrassed, but damn the embarrassment. She need to get out. She need to cut her losses, run, and just start all over and say, you know what? I was a fool. I shouldn't have done this. Learn from her lesson finally and move on. I don't know why I end up liking the season. Maybe because, maybe a couple of people leaving, maybe Portia leaving, and maybe Cynthia leaving. Maybe that added enough spark for it, to give it something fresh and new. But I end up liking it. Kenya so far hasn't been as mean as she used to be. I think that Mark fella, that husband of hers, must have tamed her, or maybe her baby changed her or something, because Kenya is a whole new person to me, it seems. She ain't the mean bully girl. Is this a story of when you used to be the bully, but then you got your butt beat so bad you ain't the bully no more? Because her husband Mark has beat her up in public and everywhere else, and she seems to be quite more of a humble person. And then Kandi, to be honest with you, I know people love Kandi, but the part about Kandi, it's not like I dislike Kandi as a person, but Kandi, I feel like sometimes she's disingenuous. I think she is kind of like all about herself. And to me, what makes me not feel comfortable with Kandi is I feel like I'm being tricked when I watch her. She seems to turn every episode into a commercial about one of her businesses. Now, I know people be like, so what, Kandi, about that check? She want to get her grind on, her groove on. I get it. But a lot of times it makes me feel kind of like used as a person watching the show, because I feel like it's like a person, like they bring you a gift and say, here's a gift, but the gift is there to promote their product. That's not really a gift, because the gift is for you too. That's what Kandi does. She always gives gifts that promote her products. Everything's always about her businesses. So I think she uses the show to promote her other businesses. Yeah, it's smart, but I just don't want to be used that way. And when Kandi started talking about that little condo, I know I'm going back on the episodes, but when Kandi was talking about that condo with her husband Todd, talking about I don't want a condo that he shared with another woman. That sounds so crazy, Kandi. You wrote whole songs about other men. You just talked about you had a whole song which was Gerald Levert, who was your ex-boyfriend. You've written songs about boyfriends, and I bet you still sing them songs. I bet you still play them songs in the house. I bet you still play them on the radio. So what's the big deal about Todd having owned a condo from another woman? Just like Todd said, that bed you guys were sleeping on initially was from another man. You done shared your body with another man. That was just a ridiculous excuse. I think Kandi does like Todd to be completely all dependent on her, which gives her sort of like this position of power. Todd better not sell that condo in New Jersey. He better fix it up, because if that house ain't in his name at any point, Kandi want to get rid of him, he going to have some place to go. So this whole idea, like I don't want to have no condo that you shared with an ex-person, that don't make no sense. I remember one time my husband told me, I don't want to take you to no vacation spot that you went with another man. I was like, what? That don't make sense. So you know what? I'm going to just keep lying and tell you I ain't never been. People have lies before these men and husbands. You can't be telling people, I just want to discount everything since before you was with another person. Give me a break. Then you got Marlo. I mean, even Marlo seemed to pipe down, except for this last episode. She really went off. She was the old Marlo. But before this last episode, the new Marlo, I was like, okay, Marlo's feeling more comfortable because she got her peach now. It's almost like Marlo was a side chick and she was bitter and angry because, the man didn't really want her and make her official. But now she's official. She calmed down. She was throwing pity parties for Sheree and everything. I mean, I was impressed with Marlo. I said, look at Marlo. She really done grown up. But then this last episode happened. I was like, oh, there go the old Marlo. And then you got Drew. I know everybody, a lot of people don't like Drew. Some people don't like her husband. But to be honest with you, Drew and her husband, they are the exact same. That's why I know they're going to be married for a long time. Some people thrive in chaos. They like that type of life. That's actually Drew and her husband. They actually are both gaslighters. They gaslight each other. They both like to be right. They both tell stories different kind of ways. And Drew Sidora, she's a user. She always always has been. And all these little things are showing about what Drew does. It just pinpoints to me that Drew is a user, and she probably got the best husband because he tries to take advantage of her and she tries to take advantage of other people. Drew, I think she's kind of like a cheap person. She's trying to get free wigs from Portia. She's always trying to get free dinners and free passes from people, free gifts. When it's time for her to give something, she gives little cheap gifts, little cheap items. Even when she was over Marlo's house last time, talking about, let me take a plate. Drew always got her hand out. I'm telling you, I never really liked Drew that much anyway. But now I see she kind of the same old person this season as well. And then she throws the rocks and then she hides her hands. That's Drew to me. Anyway, that's it, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.